because I watched the Reddit stories. I just want to know if Creepcast hasn't, but Red Thread has uploaded a new video. Hell yeah. Oh my god, what? I just saw something like... I just saw like a video that I'm like, I cannot believe this is real. I'm excited to watch that. But yeah, alright, here we go. Mendeleev Nightmare? I wonder if it's like a historical name that I'm not saying correctly. Let me just double check. Dmitry Mendeleev. Okay, how do you pronounce it? He's was a Russian chemist and inventor. He's best known for formulating the periodic law and creating a version of the periodic table of elements. There we go. That makes sense. But how do you pronounce it?
Mendeleev.
Mendeleev. And if you use a British one?
Mendeleev.
It's Mendeleev. Okay. Gotcha. Oh god, it has the periodic table right here, and I am I suck ass with chemistry, so bear with me on this one, guys. Okay, Euclid. SCP-2046 must be affixed to the wall of a secure, airtight containment cell equipped with an airlock and radiation shielding. Several other non-anomalous periodic table of identical dimension to SCP-2046 must be affixed to the wall nearby. At any given time, there must be no fewer than 20 periodic tables on the wall. In addition, the containment chamber must have a table set with a 1 gram sample of the first 92 elements of the standard periodic table of elements, each sealed in an airtight glass bottle. Exceptions can be made for highly unstable atoms such as a francium, acetine, etc. Every 24 hours, a D-class personnel equipped with a level A hazardous material suit must inspect the periodic tables and compare them to another periodic table for reference, when not stored in the chamber. D-class personnel assigned to this duty must be largely ignorant of the subject of chemistry, and are to be treated with Class C amnestics afterwards. A lack of high school level chemistry education is sufficient to qualify as largely ignorant for this purpose. Okay, pardon, sorry, Jesus. Periodic tables that have been modified by SCP-2046, hereafter referred to as -1, see below, must be taken down and replaced with a new periodic tables. Instances of -1 to be sealed in a black paper envelope, shredded and incinerated. Similarly to element, samples must be disposed of and placed on a monthly basis. A reproduction of SCP-2046 at time of writing to demonstrate scale of effect. Anomalous entries are blacked out to prevent mimetic exposure. Okay, so there are some blacked out stuff here. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Should the radiation inside the containment chamber begin to exceed 200 CPM, the air must be evacuated, stored in sealed gas canisters, and disposed of. All waste produced during the course of containment procedures must be deposited in one of the Foundation's secure underground radioactive waste disposal centers. Description: SCP-2046 is a poster of the periodic table of elements printed on a sheet of glossy paper, roughly 91 by 61 centimeters in dimension. When not observed, SCP-2046 will expand itself, adding new elements and groups to the periodic table it depicts. 2046 dimensions do not change. The periodic table itself scales down to accommodate new elements. So, okay, the paper itself does not change. It's just like the text just shrinks. It just does this, basically, because like the window doesn't change, but everything else definitely shrinks down. Okay, new elements added in this way do not conform to the established laws of chemistry or the organization structure of the periodic table. Time of writing, SCP-2046 displays 191 anomalous elements, only of which are listed in the Foundation expanded periodic table. SCP, what the fuck? SCP-2046 exerts a mimetic effect on observers, causing roughly 80% of them to believe that the anomalous periodic table depicted is the correct periodic table. It will express confusion when presented with the standard periodic table. Okay, see, I can follow this. The other 20% remark that something seems amiss with the table, but unless they are able to compare it to another non-anomalous periodic table, they will be unable to say what. Administration of Class C amnestics have been somewhat effective in removing this effect, but there's a footnote that says the effectiveness of this treatment seems inversely proportional to the subject's knowledge of chemistry. All D-class personnel lacking a high school education have thus far been cured with a single treatment, but more educated subjects such as the student of Redacted, who were initially subjected to this effect, often suffer relapses, requiring multiple subsequent treatments. The original owner of SCP-2046, Dr., who has a PhD in chemistry, remained uncured after treatments and was eventually given Class B amnestics. Treatment of this scale requires lengthy rehabilitation and is generally not recommended. Oof. Well, that means I'm in the clear, because I know fuck all about chemistry and periodic tables. In addition, SCP-2046 will introduce these anomalous elements into the surrounding environments by transmuting random atoms into new elements. Oh! Most of these anomalous elements cannot exist in our universe and decay instantly into fundamental particles, resulting in the gradual buildup of a radiation. I was about to say, like, if a bunch of random atoms just show up and they're not stable, doesn't that cause some bad shit? And here it is, radiation. Human beings exposed to this effect will be. That's why the D-class needs to have a hazmat suit on. Human beings exposed to this effect will begin to show symptoms similar to heavy metal poisoning, radiation sickness, and ditto expunged. The exact rate of transmutation has yet to be determined, but it is noted that prior to containment, SCP-2046 hung on the wall of a lecture hall at Redacted, Georgia, for roughly a month prior to the first reported case of affected students. Instances of -1 or other periodic table affected by SCP-2046. Okay, so they change slowly. I assume they change into SCP-2046. If a periodic table is left unattended in proximity of SCP-2046, it will eventually change to match the anomalous table depicted on SCP-2046. Instances of -1 do not share SCP-2046's ability to transmute elements, but they are still a mimetic hazard and must be disposed of in accordance with the special containment procedures see above. Under the direction of Dr. Researchers are able to develop containment procedures using Redacted. By exposing SCP-2046 with representation of the standard physics compliant periodic table and elements SCP-246 physics, the distorting effects are inhibited. Since the implementation of these procedures, no new elements have appeared on the table, and the level of radiation within the containment chamber has only risen. Redacted. Addendum: senior research personnel predict that the release and propagation of a stable anomalous chemical element could damage the laws of chemistry, eventually resulting in a CK class reality, restructuring events. As such, all experiments involving the anomalous elements themselves are restricted pending O5 approval. That's true, yeah. If there ever is an atom or like some sort of like chemical that appears that actually can stably insert itself into anything that we have, it could change so much of our world, how our world works. I appreciate this one because like I'm always worried when I get an SCP that's like very chemistry based. I'm always like a bit worried like, oh, I will not understand anything about it. It's always a bit worrisome for me because I feel like then I don't give it enough what's the word? I don't give it enough praise for like because at the end, even if people don't like an SCP or some of them are like lower rated and all that stuff, it doesn't matter to me. But I do feel like somebody put effort into it. Somebody had an idea, they wrote it down, and they put it here for us to publicly look at. And now that I'm doing every SCP, there's going to be people that will see it for the first time, or they will see it again. So if I don't understand an SCP, I always feel bad because I'm like, because like for some people it makes total sense, for some people it's like the greatest thing ever, and I'm over here like, what? What is happening? So I'm glad I understood this one, and it's very simple to understand too. So I'm glad that's the case. Like I said, I do worry that like sometimes I don't give it enough, you know, reaction or pizzazz compared to other ones.